Alan Pardew is here with me, Sam Matterface, through till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Other results last night in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea beat Wolves by 4-3. They won that game twice, really. They became the first Premier League side of all time to have 4 different scorers aged 21 or younger in a match in all competitions. Andre Santos, Tyreek George, Esteval and Jamie Gittins. But with youth comes a little bit of inconsistency. Chelsea 3-0 up and then invited Wolves back in. They also picked up another red card. Liam Delap's only been back for a couple of moments and then all of a sudden he's sent off 2 bookable offences. Now, including the manager, Alan, he was sent off against Liverpool for 2 bookable
Running down the side, yeah, I remember seeing it.
6 red cards in the last 9 games, and 4 of those have been for 2 yellow card offences. How much of an issue is that?
Well, it is an issue, and it's when you get to that sort of stage, and unfortunately he's got one himself, so that somewhat waters down his message. But I'm guessing he's had the chit chat, and then looking to his comments after about he actually sort of said Delap was stupid for the first time. He's had to kind of do it publicly. It is a concern. The sort of things where you get the email from the owner, what's going on with the discipline, etc., etc. So it is something you will address as a Premier League manager. But that doesn't mean to say you can stop it happening. Delap looks like he just come on and lost his head last night. I mean, the second incident was awful.
Yes, and afterwards, Enzo Maresca said it was stupid and embarrassing.
Yes, stupid foul. We can avoid that. Yeah. No, it's not to him. It's to everyone that I completely support. I understand when there are red cards like Brighton or Man United, that is difficult. But red card against Nottingham and red card today, both we can avoid that, and we have to avoid that. No, yeah, but it's embarrassing when it's red card like today. Like today, it's embarrassing. Because it's 2 yellow cards in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes. Both, I think we can avoid that. So it's not good.
A few little red flags here, actually. The second half performance wasn't particularly great. They went half an hour without having a shot, actually, Chelsea at one point, and allowed Wolves back into the match. But Liam Delap, after only just coming back from injury, is now going to miss Saturday's trip to London rivals Tottenham. And with João Pedro not firing on all cylinders at the moment, a few concerns about him, that's going to be a big miss.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're coming into, that's a massive game in terms of the local rivalry, etc., etc. And in the scheme of things in the Premier League, it might just amplifies it. It's not ideal. I mean, that is a really bad situation for him to have a striker not available and one not quite firing, tough.
Yeah, I wonder how you sort out a discipline problem when a lot of those are, as we mentioned before, second yellow cards. So someone who's lost their head or made a mistake and then gone and make another mistake. Does that come with immaturity, do you think?
Well, you also got, whatever that disciplinary kind of sheet is, i.e., if you get a red card, you usually get a fine. 2 yellow cards, not always. So it'd be interesting to see if Delap gets punished for his indiscipline and everything else that the manager was throwing at him in the press conference. Maresca always looks cold, by the way. Do you think he's engineering a move away to somewhere warmer? Every time I see him,
he's always wrapped up.
He's always
massive,
wrapped
great
up.
big puffer jacket.
He does not like the West London weather.
Most bizarre yellow card I've ever seen, says Brian, when he's talking about Delap. I thought it was if he wanted to get booked even after his first yellow. It was obviously he was going to get a second. The team have no discipline whatsoever. This should have been sorted by now. How many red cards do we need before it is dealt with? Well, 6 in the last 9 games. Comes with a lot of suspensions and problems, and certainly Chelsea will need to sort that out very quickly indeed. They're not the only ones that have got problems to sort out. Victor Pereira hasn't won a game all season. He's no win in 6 months, says this texter. In fact, they've won a couple in the League Cup, haven't they, this season? But surely, Victor Pereira has to be sacked, says one texter. Is this the season we finally go down? Well, it's 6 weeks on from signing a new deal, but is he in real danger? Because the team are.
The team are definitely in danger. No wins, after 9 games in the Premier League. You got to win 10 to stay in the division. Definitely 9. So, that's a tough call now with 29 games remaining. That means you've got to win a third of them. So it's going to be very, very difficult to stay in the division. I was always, when I was watching him getting so kind of emotional about games last year, and going celebrating with the fans and all that. And it looked like everybody was with him. I think there's always an issue then. Sometimes I think the manager it's very important to sort of keep a middle ground. He sort of goes high and low, and it worries me a little bit. He certainly needs a win. There's no doubt about that.
I was just looking through the team last night. Obviously, you've got Jose Sarr, who's been around the block, but isn't the Premier League goalkeeper at the moment. He's the backup goalkeeper because they switched out him for Johnston. Doherty was the captain of the team. Mosquera, Gomez, Wolf, Agbadu, Lopez, Chachawa, Gomez, Huang, Aracadera. I mean, there's a lot of new players in that Wolves lineup, and there has been over the course of the season. It feels like there's been a lot of churn there over the course of the last few years, and not necessarily that churn has upgraded the team.
Well, I go back to one of my rounds of Arsene Wenger, and I had 2 or 3 rounds of him. One was about when he fielded a whole team when no Englishmen played, and I highlighted it as a West Ham manager and got into a bit of trouble with him.
What did he say?
Well, I can't remember. It was more or less the lines of what's he talking about? What does he know? Etc. Etc. But the issue I have is because obviously I want England to be strong, and Wolves carry, I think, the least amount of Englishmen or British players in their squad in the whole country in all the Premier League. So what you've then got and I've had it at Newcastle a couple of times when you're buying players and you're in that market of buying players that are looking to get a move to a bigger club. That's they're using your club maybe to get to a bigger club. So you get kind of individuals, you get kind of people who have their own agenda. You get
like people passing through
a little bit. And then, of course, if you're winning, that all's okay. That's all okay. It all gets expressed. But when you're losing, it just manifests. It just becomes more of an issue. We've got no voice in the dressing room. We've got no leadership. Everyone's here for themselves kind of attitude. The agents get involved. Yeah, my player's fine, but the rest of them are no good. You get all that going on to the owner. The owner's coming down on the manager. Starts getting problematic.
Yeah.
You can sense that, can't you?
Yeah, but he's just been given
just by looking at me, I could see your eyebrow. You did
I can imagine that when you're in a
James
situation...
Bond eyebrow there, yeah. It's not bad, that, actually.
It's not quite Ancelotti.
No, it's right, though.
It's not bad. It's not bad. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, you can see that now. Right, okay, we'll talk a little bit more about Tottenham Hotspur last night as well, beaten by Newcastle by 2-0. They are the joint top scorers in the Premier League this season, and they're sitting in third, but there were a few grumbles last night. This is talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.